Hey, you guys, welcome to our class number 2, which is Daily Vitality and Nutrition and Supplements. We are so grateful that you are here with us. If you are watching the replay or if you're watching live with us, why don't you go ahead and put in the chat where you are joining us from. It's so exciting to be able to hear and see that we've got people from across the United States. And I love seeing it. I don't know about you, but it's always fun to go, oh gosh, they're here, and the different time zones and everything. So we're just really grateful that you are here with us tonight. As we are getting started, I want to remind you guys that this is being recorded. You are able to find the recordings by reaching out to the person who invited you here. We will also be posting this up in our Facebook group, Good Vibes, later, as soon as we get the recording. And we're also, I wanted to let you know that we offer a free recipe book that has nearly 300 recipes in it from some of our best leaders and some of us that have been here for a really long time. So these are recipes that are tried and true. At the end of class tonight, we will teach you and tell you more about how you can get that. But I also want to remind you guys that this is a Tuesday night class that we have a series of 8 different classes that just repeat over and over. Every time we teach the class, it is different information. So I want to just do a shout out to you guys for showing up and learning what to do with what you have, or being interested in learning how to use what you maybe are just getting exposure to. All of us, it's a journey for us as we are learning and gathering information. Every Monday night, we have experienced doTERRA. This is why people choose doTERRA when there's so many other things out there on the market. doTERRA is the #1 essential oil company in the world. We take it serious. Our oils are different than anything that else is out there on the market. And we go into deep details about that on Mondays. We also have a special class where we feature financial benefits and how some people have taken this, myself included, and taken this into not only a way of life, but into a financial way that I can support our family and other people in our community. And then on Tuesday nights, of course, we have these classes. And on Wednesday, we have a class that is not recorded, that is a roundtable. So if you're curious about something specific, or maybe you've got a goal or a challenge that you're going, I don't even know what to use or how to use it, we invite you to join us every Wednesday. All of our classes are at the same time, same Zoom number, but that one is not recorded. So you get one-on-one attention, and it's really great. So, all right, you guys, I'm excited to introduce to you our teacher tonight, which is Jules Tipton. Jules is an amazing teacher. Every time she teaches, I'm like on the edge of my seat, and I've always got a notebook so I can take great notes, because she always drops just these little nuggets of wisdom and value of how we can better support our bodies, and really great things to think about as we are journeying into learning more and discovering more. Jules has been in the education and learning and practice of wellness for years, and I'll let her kind of tell you more about herself. But you guys, let's say hello to Jules.
Thanks, Haley. Gosh, I don't even know what to say. That was a great intro. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jules. It's actually Julie, but it always gets shortened to Jules, and that's just how I introduce myself. So feel free to call me Jules. Feel free to friend me on Facebook as Jules Tipton. And like Haley said, I have been in the holistic health and wellness space for the better part of 40 years. I'll be 64 years old and this year, and I started way back in my 20s learning about just natural ways to do things. So really, I was crunchy before crunchy was ever cool. And I'm not totally crunchy, but I'm pretty crunchy. And I'm always looking for the natural way to do something. So I love it when I get to come in here. I love it when I get to teach. That's one of the things that doTERRA has actually shown me as I've stepped into doTERRA and the business side of it. And with Haley's guidance and Haley's encouragement, I've really discovered that I love to teach. I love to share what I've learned, and I love to help people feel better in their bodies. So that's what we're going to do tonight. This is class number 2. This is daily vitality, nutrition, supplements. This is all about foundational health. And this is really where my passion lies, because I know I've been in the industry long enough and I've lived it myself. I know that if our foundational wellness, our nutrition is spot on or as close to spot on as we can make it. And if we always make that our target and our goal, then everything else will improve exponentially. But we have to have that foundation. And that's what this class is all about. So make sure to make note of that. This is class number 2, because when you're submitting that you were on this class tonight, you'll need to know that it was class number 2, and that will qualify you or work towards qualifying you for that free recipe book that Hayley was talking about. I think that as we look at this slide right here, I think all of us can ask ourselves this question: why are so many around us sick? Why is one of the wealthiest nations in the world one of the sickest nations in the world? And then the next question becomes, is it possible to get all the nutrition that we need from our food? And my answer to that is absolutely not. And there's a reason for that. And as we go through this, we'll talk about that a little bit more. Let's look at what creates dis-ease in the body. Instead of just looking at that word as disease, think about it as dis-ease in the body. What creates that? The 3 top triggers for that are nutrient deficiency, inflammation, overall inflammation. We're all supposed to have a little bit of inflammation in our body, but we all have too much inflammation in our body. And then the third thing, or the third piece, is toxic overload. And we are just inundated with toxins in us and around us all the time. And these 3 factors are paramount for creating dis-ease, but they're all things that we can do something about. We have control to do something about them. So our lifestyle, our overall lifestyle, impacts our wellness. And I love this slide because I love the way the puzzle pieces, you can see they fit together. So we have restoration of sleep right there, the blue and restorative sleep that we see there in the middle on the left-hand side. The better sleep that we get, the better our foundation is going to be, the better our body's going to perform. The more whole food nutrition and the better our digestion is, that's another puzzle piece that fits into there. The more physical activity we get, that's another piece that fits in there. The more we reduce that toxic load, that's another puzzle piece. Managing our stress and making sure that our metabolism is working at the cellular level as good as we can possibly get it to work. All of those puzzle pieces make up the whole. And like I said, these are all things that don't necessarily have to come from outside of us. These are things we all have control over, and we can control how we put these pieces together. So we have the technology, we have the supplements, we have the knowledge to make our body as whole as we can make it. I love this article, and if you've seen me teach this class before or been here when I've taught it, you know that I talk about how much I love this article. And part of the reason that I love this is because if you look on this, you can see right underneath the headline there, breeding the nutrition out of our food. Right underneath that, in smaller print, you see that this was May 25th of 2013. So this was 11 years ago. And 11 years ago, this headline and this first paragraph just blows my mind. The loss of these beneficial nutrients did not begin 50 or 100 years ago, as many assume. Unwittingly, we have been stripping phytonutrients from our diet since we stopped foraging for wild plants some 10,000 years ago and became farmers. So here's the thing. I was raised as a ranch kid. I was raised where we grew our own food. We butchered our own cattle. That's the protein sources that we got. We milked our own cows. We had an orchard. We had a garden. We did all the things. And I'm not dissing that we need that, because we do. And we all should, if we can, try and grow some of our own food and control what we put in the ground, how we nurture that, and what we get out of it. But the thing is, the more we have farmed on a large scale to feed the masses, the more we have stripped those nutrients out of the ground. So those apples that you see in the picture, those don't have the same nutrient value today that they did 5 years ago. or 10 years ago, or 20 years ago, or 30 years ago, and so on. Each decade, each half of a decade, that gets more nutrients get stripped out of our food because we are so busy producing so much food for so many people. So we just don't get the same nutrient value that we used to get. Enter lifelong vitality. So this is a great slide as well. I want you to take a look at that. My favorite piece of this, or the thing that I want you to pay the most attention to, is you see where kind of it's on the left side of your screen, but kind of towards the middle, you see that there's a box that circles where it's green, that green area. These are all nutrients that we need and the percentage of them that we need in our diet every single day. And this, where all those green are, is the sweet spot where doTERRA is when we dial in our nutrition on our own and then supplement with doTERRA's lifelong vitality, it will land us in this spot of the sweet spot of that green zone. And that is where we want to be. We don't want to have too much of something and we don't want to have too little of something. And doTERRA's lifelong vitality, along with a balanced whole food diet, can put us right here in this sweet spot where we're getting everything that we need. And for those of us who have been taking supplements for a long time, I started when I was in the 7th grade and was competing as an athlete, and my coach wanted to take me to the Junior Olympics, and she was like, your mom and dad need to have you on some kind of supplementation. We started out with things like 1-a-day vitamins. I don't know how many of you remember those, but I do. Mine were little red round pills, 1-a-day vitamins. And then we went to high dose multi-mega vitamins, where it was, well, if a little bit is good, then a big bunch must be better. And that didn't do anything for us, except that we just peed it out or excreted it another way. We just got rid of it. And then doTERRA dialed it in. And what we have today is really targeted state-of-the-art nutrition. And it lands us in that sweet spot that you see on the screen. And that's where we want to be. So there was a 60-day clinical trial that was done using doTERRA's lifelong vitality. And if you look at these, I'm not going to go through that whole thing. You can screenshot it if you want to, but really what you're seeing there as you look at this is this was subjects that took doTERRA lifelong vitality supplements for 2 months, and they did it religiously, and they continued with their normal diet and exercise. So they weren't really dialing in their nutrition, like really targeting it. They were just continuing what they did day to day, and they were just continuing with their normal daily exercise. So the only factor that was changing was doTERRA's lifelong vitality. And you can see there were statistically significant improvements, there were positive effects, and there were also overall improvements here. And that was just from being consistent with lifelong vitality and keeping their lifestyle the same. So these are really powerful supplements. It's a great slide as well. And we're going to give Hayley a little shout out here. Hayley always creates these slide decks and she does an amazing job. So Hayley, thanks for that. So this slide, when you look at this, you go, all right, really, what does that mean? So I'm going to call your attention over to the right-hand side of the slide and look at that where it says nutrition information. And we'll just go down here and we'll pick one. Let's go down about 3/4 of the way and we see where it says vitamin D3. And it says we'd have to eat 1,000 eggs to get the vitamin D3 that we're going to get if we continue with our normal diet and we supplement with doTERRA's lifelong vitality. I don't know about you. I love eggs, but I'm not going to eat 1,000 of those babies. Not gonna. I do eat several eggs a day, but this just puts it in perspective of what you can do with a really good bioavailable, which means your body can absorb them, a bioavailable supplement and proper nutrition. It's going to land you in that sweet spot. And the other thing that is worth noting here is if you bought all of the groceries that met those nutrient values over there on the right-hand side of the screen, if you bought all the groceries that could meet those nutrient values, you would be spending a whole lot more than you are doing what you do with your diet doing as best you can to dial it in, and then supplementing with Lifelong Vitality. It's $85 a month for Lifelong Vitality. And if you were to buy all of that nutrition at the store, it's going to cost you upwards of $900, maybe more than that now. I don't know about you guys, but where I shop, it's pretty dang expensive here in California. All right, there's 3 parts to Lifelong Vitality. In each one of the pictures you've seen the 3 different bottles. So the 3 parts of them are the omegas, and then we have alpha CRS, and we have microplex VMZ. So the microplex VMZ is basically the whole food nutrition. It's your multivitamin. Everything that you need is in there, and it's very absorbable. Your body knows what to do with it. It's got some things in there that are going to support your digestion and your metabolism. It is your multivitamin. It's that piece of the puzzle. And then your omegas are there as well. And that's all about, excuse me, nourishing our cells. That's all about helping our organs and our brain function better. It's all about healthy hair, skin, nails, and joints. We need our omegas, and that's a perfect balance of them. And the way they're encapsulated makes them way, way, way better than what you're going to find elsewhere on the marketplace. And then we have the alpha CRS, and that is basically cellular energy. Let's go back to your science class when you were in probably the 5th, 6th, 7th grade, something like that. We all learned about the little mitochondria. Do you remember that word? The mitochondria in the cells. And those are the energy powerhouses of the cell. And this alpha CRS helps to fuel those energy powerhouses of the cell. So it's basically food for the cells in the form of energy. So that whole trio is what makes up doTERRA's Lifelong Vitality. And then to go along with it, we need to talk about digestion and our gut health. Probably most of you that are on here have either read it somewhere, you've seen it on the internet. There's been tons of talk over the last 10 years in the biohacking world and in functional medicine that our gut is our second brain. And they've really started figuring out that if our gut isn't healthy, our brain isn't healthy, our body isn't healthy, our immune system's not functioning optimally, our organs aren't either. So our gut is part of that foundational nutrition. Making sure that we have good foundational gut health will, again, improve our overall well-being exponentially. So doTERRA has 2 products in particular that go beautifully with doTERRA's Lifelong Vitality. And one of them is PB Restore. And you can see there, that's a little capsule that's green. And if you get your hands on these and you open them up and you look at that capsule, it's actually what's called a dual chambered capsule. So they're separate from one another in one capsule, but you see some in half of it, and then you see some dark green in the other half. And that's a pre, a pro, and a postbiotic all in there. And those are little guys that fuel our body, fuel our stomach, clean things out, feed off the bad bacteria, fill it with good bacteria. This is a great way to balance your gut, excuse me, with the PB Restore. And then Terrazyme, excuse me, I've got a frog in my throat. Terrazyme is a supplement that, again, everybody should be taking this. Please take your Terrazyme. Terrazyme does so many things. This is a digestive enzyme. And it also, because of the digestive enzymes and because of it having all the right things in it, I even just learned this last week that it's really good for helping the body to lay down bone. So if you're somebody like me who's 63, 64, and you're aging and you've maybe gotten that call that, hey, your bone density is lessening a little bit, Terrazyme is a great thing to add to your supplementation, because it's going to help. Those digestive enzymes are going to have benefits towards your bone health as well. So love these 2 products, and they go hand in hand with doTERRA's Lifelong Vitality. Things that wipe out our gut, you can see on the left-hand side of the screen. That's okay, Hayley, you don't need to go back. Things on the left-hand side of the screen were Antibiotics can wipe out our gut. As a matter of fact, one round of antibiotics we know takes our body about 3 years to recover from if we aren't helping to supplement it and get it back in balance. Sometimes we need antibiotics, but when we're done with them, we need to work on our gut health. We need to really focus on that. Sugar, alcohol, stress, processed dairy, all of that kind of stuff, poor sleep, that all affects our gut biome. So the more we can dial those in and work on that foundational nutrition, the healthier we're going to be. Okay. Thanks, Hayley. Okay, 2 more supplements that we want to look at here. Again, you can screenshot this. I'm not going to go through the whole list on each one of them, but I want you to know that we have a product called DDR Prime, and this is damaged DNA repair. That's what DDR stands for. So we know that our DNA can get, it cannot replicate correctly. Those cells can get messed up. They can get mixed messaging. DDR Prime is a great supplement to help that not happen, to help our cells turn over and replicate in the positive way instead of a negative way. And that's what DDR Prime is all about. And then we have Mito2 Max, and it's actually now in our MetaPower line. But Mito2 Max is another product that is great for cellular energy and for you to take when you're kind of dragging in the afternoon. This is a great product that will give you that energy, give those cells the energy they need without being an active stimulant to your brain. Absolutely excellent product to take. So make sure you screenshot that so that you know that some of the top reasons you want to use those. Additional supplements that we have here, I take turmeric every single night when I go to bed because it is so great for inflammation in your body. And I have, like most of us, too much inflammation, but I also have an autoimmune challenge that I deal with that increases inflammation in my body. And so this is a piece that I don't ever miss. It goes into my right before bed supplementation routine every single night. Turmeric is so good for that helping to regulate that inflammation in a natural way. And if you look at it, it's also one of those dual chambered capsules. So the secret to this one is it has the oil, turmeric oil, and then we also have the powdered form of turmeric that most of us have seen, most of us have cooked with. And what we found out about it is, or what the scientists at doTERRA have found out about it is, that the oil offers different benefits than the powder does. And so when we combine them and they dissolve differently, they will work, or at different times, they will work synergistically to enhance the benefits that you're getting, those anti-inflammatory benefits that you're getting. This is a great, great product. And then the other side of the screen, you can see Deep Blue there. Deep Blue was my introduction into doTERRA. And it was in the form of a client of mine sharing Deep Blue essential oil with me and asking me to use it on her during her session when I was working on her body. I was doing massage therapy and rehab work. This is a body I'd known and worked on for at least once a week, sometimes twice a week for probably 15 years. She brought that oil to me, and the minute I started using it on her, I could tell that there was a difference in the way her tissues were responding underneath my hands. And I was sold. So that was my intro to it. And I use every single piece that you see there. We have the Deep Blue rub, which is a great muscle rub, joint rub, that kind of thing. We have the Deep Blue oil, which can also be used topically. You can add a little bit to that rub. We have the Deep Blue copaiba stick, which means that you've got copaiba in there along with Deep Blue and all the properties of Deep Blue. And then you don't have to get your hands in it. You can just take that stick and rub it where you need it, roll it where you need it. And then we have the Deep Blue polyphenols, which are, it's not the exact thing that is in Deep Blue oil because that is not an ingestible oil, but the polyphenols have some of the same things in there, and they are targeted toward that excess inflammation in your body or sore muscles, sore joints, that kind of thing. I think that Deep Blue polyphenols are, the way I look at them is they are a weekend warrior kind of thing. If you are going to be outside working in your yard, in your garden, doing something really physical that you're not used to doing, you want to make sure that you have some Deep Blue polyphenols because they're going to help with some of that soreness that you're going to get from doing something that you're not used to doing. Great products right here for anything to do with inflammation. We also have a nutritional line, which I have been a protein shake drinker since I was in the 7th grade. And that was before they really had protein shakes, but I was drinking carnation protein drinks way back in the day. And I'm sure now if I looked at the ingredients of them, I'd think, oh, but at the time, that was what we had. So this is a state-of-the-art line of supplementation that comes in the form of protein shakes. We've got a vegan shake, we've got a vanilla shake, and a whey protein vanilla shake, and a whey protein chocolate shake. We also have fiber, we also have greens. These are so great. And I know that Hayley has some recipes that she drinks the fiber and the greens together. Sometimes she just drinks the fiber. She says it tastes like, I don't ever do that. I mix them all together in one. But I know I've heard Hayley say that it tastes like kind of like a hot apple cider when she drinks it warmed. So just know that this is a really tasty line as well. Okay, this is a great one to screenshot too. This is all about where do you start? Because you look at those, you think, oh my gosh, do I really need all of that? And I will tell you, probably you do. You probably do need it all. But you can, this will give you an idea of where you start and how you build on that. So always begin with lifelong vitality and then your gut products, and then you build on that. And if you look at this, screenshot this chart, I'm not going to walk you through everything there, but you'll see this walks you through how to take them, when you'll take them, and then other things that you can add on as time goes on. The other thing that I would tell you when you're looking at that picture there or that screen, I will tell you, you need to add with your lifelong vitality, PB Restore, and TerraZyme. The next thing you need to add, or when you order it, add it, is the Advantage Collagen. You have to have that. That's a class that we do next week, but that is something that you have to have, particularly if you're over 25 years old. That product can be a game changer for you. And you've always all probably heard us talk about loyalty rewards, or LRP. And if you're like me, you probably are thinking, no way, I'm not getting roped into some monthly thing. I don't care what you call it. If you put a fancy name on it, I'm not doing it. Because that's what I thought. Because I just thought, I don't want to get roped into something. I want what I want, and I want it when I want it. And I don't want to get roped into something. And here's the beauty of doTERRA's loyalty rewards program. You can get what you want when you want it, and you don't have to order all the time. But when you do decide to order all the time, and when you do decide to use the supplements, you will order monthly. And when you do that, you can save big bucks. And that is the reward that doTERRA gives us for taking care of ourselves. That's how I look at it. They reward me for taking care of myself, and they reward me pretty significantly. So when you put Lifelong Vitality, the trio of them, in your shopping cart, you'll see a little button that pops up that says customize. And then you have this array of products. You can see them down on the bottom of your screen there. You have this array of products that are deeply discounted, and you can add up to 3 of those products to your Lifelong Vitality and get a really deep discount. It's the most economical way to shop, and it's the best thing that you can do to build your nutritional foundation. Same thing happens when you put in the doTERRA, the MetaPower Advantage Collagen in your cart. You'll see a customized drop-down box that opens up, and then you can choose 3 additional items to add to that. This is how you build your nutritional foundation without breaking the bank. And doTERRA rewards us by giving us that when we use the loyalty rewards program. It's a great way to shop. It's the only way to shop. So this is a great slide to kind of explain that. Again, I'm not going to go through it in detail, but I'm going to walk you through. See the little blue boxes right there? When you do order on doTERRA's loyalty rewards program and you really start to utilize it and make it work for you, the first 3 months, that you place 50 PV or more, you're going to earn 10% back of your order. They're going to give you 10% back. Then months 4 to 6, when you again do 50 PV, and PV, mind you, for those of you who don't know, is simply a value to your product. So most times if it's $10, then the value of that is 10 points. Some of them aren't, some of them are different. Some of them cost more, but then have a lesser point value, but there's just a point value to everything. So that's what PV stands for. So months 4 to 6, 50 PV or more every month, you're going to earn 15% back of every single order that you place within that cart, as long as it's 50 PV or more. Months 7 to 9, it's 20%, 10 to 12, it's 25. And then after that, forever and ever, it's 30%. And that's where I am now. So just to make it easy for you people who maybe are like me and not great at math, if I spend $100, doTERRA's given me $30 back to use in points that work just like cash on my next order. Besides the fact that I have maximized that customize option on my supplements, then I'm getting 30% back on top of it. Plus I'm getting a 25% discount right off the top because I have a wholesale account. So it makes no sense ever to buy retail from doTERRA, and it makes all the sense in the world to figure out how to use this loyalty rewards program to your benefit, because it's the way you're going to be able to build your foundational wellness and save money at the same time. And you get free products sometimes. Okay, there's 3 ways to share doTERRA. Some of you are just here because you're a customer, you love it, or maybe you're thinking about becoming a customer and you want to know more about it. There's a way that you can get your products paid for, and there's also a way that you can make some money with doTERRA. You can actually build a doTERRA business. So one of the ways that you can just start out, if you want to dip your toe in, is by using the referral program. Once you get a wholesale account, you'll see a little window that pops up when you log into your account that says, this is your share. This is your share number. It works just like any other affiliate program that you see out there. Affiliate programs are a real thing for everybody now, for every company. It's like 90% of the companies are looking for affiliates. So doTERRA gives you an affiliate link so that if you share that with a friend, you're going to earn money on what they purchased for the first time. It's a pretty cool thing to do. And then the second is you can actually help your friends, and you can upgrade your account to an advocate account, and then you can share with your friends. When you share with your friends, you can help your friends save money, or your family, and then you can start to earn a commission off of that. And then you can actually build a team, which is what I do, which is what Hayley does, and several other leaders that are here. We actually have doTERRA businesses where we build teams and we work with people to learn how to make money from home and either supplement your income or replace your income. And it's a really viable way to do it. And the coolest thing about it is that you find yourself surrounded by people who are just like you and who just want to feel better and do better for other people. It's just the coolest community ever. Okay, these are some of the kits that you can get started with. And I love these 2 kits that you see on the top of your screen there, top left side of that slide. You can't get these if you're already in doTERRA like I am. If you're already a wellness advocate or a wholesale customer, you can't get these. But if you are a new person, you can get your hands on those little wall mist diffusers and those oils. And there's 2 different ones there. There's option 1, which is the mist diffuser, and it has Citrus Bliss, Citrus Bloom, Super Mint, and Island Mint in it. And option number 2 is Shinrin Yoku, Northern Escape, Lavender, and Eucalyptus. And you get 2 mist diffusers in each one of those. And as a new person, you can even order more than one of those kits. You can order one of each if you want to. So this is a real bonus for you as a new customer. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you're my new customer and we're enrolling, I'm having you get one of those for me because I love those mist diffusers. They get rid of your Glade diffusers that you have plugged into your wall that are filled with toxins. You can get rid of those and use pure essential oils, and they are magic. I have one in my entryway, and everyone who comes here loves it when they walk by. Okay. There's also bonus enrollments when you start with at least 150 PV. Remember, that's point value for products. when you start with at least 150 PV on your initial order. You can also get your choice of a free diffuser, a free hand wash, and the bottle that goes with it, which I absolutely love. I have those in both of my bathrooms. And then you can also choose between the toothpastes that you see there on the screen. Spearmint is my favorite, or Supermint is my favorite, but I also love the On Guard. And then I don't know who we have here for Silver Club. Do we have somebody here, Hayley, from Silver Club?
So, Diane, did you just wave your hand? So let's talk about Silver Club in just a minute after we open up for questions.
Okay. All right. So yeah, we're going to talk about Silver Club and tell you how you can even get more free stuff. If you're someone who is new and just getting your account right now, we can get you even more free stuff. So we'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, that's it. I know we went really fast and really furious, but if you have questions, we're going to open up for questions here just shortly. I just want to thank you guys for coming. It's one of my favorite classes to teach. This one and next week's my favorites. I absolutely love it because I love to talk about foundational nutrition and how we can feel better in our bodies. So this is how you stay connected with everything that we do. You can screenshot this or take a picture of that little QR code. That's got all the quick links to it. It'll hook you into everything. You can also text when you've done all 8 classes, like we were talking about at the beginning, and you can do a Monday night class as well and send in something that says, hey, I attended this Monday night class. So Monday night and Tuesday night classes, when you do that, when you attend, you text the word class to, and the topic of the class to 534-429-5392. So I'm going to say it again. It's 534-429-5392. And you text the word class and the topic of the class, and that will be put in a very safe place. We'll keep track of it. And when you've attended at least 8 classes, you'll get that really cool recipe book. And you can also take that QR code, and you're going to get updates or reminders for all the classes as well. So you want to do that. Next week's class is class number 3. It's next level metabolism. It's all about MetaPower. Again, it's one of my very favorite classes, and it'll probably be me jumping in to teach. Maybe Hayley will team teach with me. I don't know. But I love these 2 classes. So I hope you're here with me next week. And that's it.
Right on. Good job. I love when you teach, Jules. It's always so informative, and you just are calm and just say it the way it is. It's always awesome. So thank you so much for teaching class. You guys, I have not been watching the chat, but now is a great time if you have a question that you'd like to come on and ask, or if you have a testimonial of maybe one of the products that we mentioned, we would love to have testimonials now, if anybody has anything they'd like to share. Okay, Julie?
I can share real quick about lifelong vitality. My husband used to ask me when I first started taking them, why do you take those? And I said, because my sister Bobby told me to. And so I adopt really easy, and I just do what I'm told. So anyway, that's where I started, but I wasn't taking them consistently, and I wasn't taking a full dose. I did go to convention that year, and when I learned all of the deficiencies that most people have in life, in part, Jules covered this in our class tonight, in part because the foods that we're eating are either highly processed and really have no nutritional value, or our farming practices have had an impact. But anyway, I came home inspired to start with the full dose. And there's somebody on the call tonight that I know. I've encouraged her to take a half a dose because she's a pretty tiny, petite woman. So know that I think if you're 125 pounds and more is really the recommendation for the full dose. But where I'm going with my story, I dealt with chronic cold sores. They grew out of my nose. Probably every 9 to 12 weeks, I had another one. I can go back and look at pictures where I look like Rudolph. My nose is red. I can tell it's inflamed. Somebody looking at me might not, but then it turns in, you know how a cold sore works, or you've seen one on someone else, and they're miserable. But when I finally got consistent with those, it really alleviated any of those growing out of my nose. I very, very rarely get them unless I get inconsistent, or about 3 weeks ago, I ran out of my Lifelong Vitality, a couple of the parts to it. And so I have dealt with a cold sore here and one on my lower lip that I'm dealing with right now. So I just want to say Lifelong Vitality, it really helps set you up for great immune support, in addition to that inflammatory response, and then also your mood. I can also tell I get kind of crabby when I'm not taking it consistently. So that's my LLV testimony and story.
Awesome. Thank you, Julie, so much. I think many of us either know somebody or have personally experienced, so, the sores on our mouth, our faces, and things that just, for some reason want to come up. And just like, I love that you mentioned consistency. You guys, consistency with all that we do is really important. A lot of times people will start getting a result, or they'll start feeling differently, and then they stop. And then it comes back again. So I want to share with you guys, I didn't realize when my legs stopped aching, because every night when I would go to bed, I would toss and turn and my knees would, ache, my ankles would ache, and all the way in between. And I remember, starting the Lifelong Vitality as a challenge of, gosh, you get your money back, so why not try it for 30 days? Even though I had a whole box full of other products, and especially one that was formulated for my husband and myself, and yet I still had all of these things going on in my body. So I took the challenge on. Then I got consistent, used them very faithfully, because if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. And somebody was talking about me and my legs, and I was like, gosh, when did that even stop? Like, I don't remember when it stopped. And the only thing that was consistent that I had changed was the Lifelong Vitality. So that was one experience. The next experience is with DDR Prime. In my family, on both sides, we forget who we are. As my grandmothers and my grandfathers have gotten older, they've literally forgotten, who they were, their family, and stuff like that. And so when I read about and learned about the properties of DDR Prime, I thought, you know what? I'm not going to have this happen. Like, I'm going to do everything being proactive. So I take a DDR Prime capsule every morning and every night, no matter what, because I want to prevent that stuff from happening for me. The other thing is, about 3 months ago, I noticed that my left eye was kind of acting up, and I wasn't able to see as clearly as I had been. And I'm thinking, okay, there's something. And so I'm thinking about repair for DNA, right? And so at night, every night and every morning, I'm putting a little bit of DDR Prime around the outside edge of my eye. And you guys, my eyes have definitely improved. Like, I can close one eye and go, gosh, I can really see something different. So I'm just, keeping very consistent, and I'm going to continue to do that. The other thing that I wanted to mention and share with you guys tonight is about Terrazyme. So my husband has had a history of lactose intolerance, and he'll eat ice cream because he loves it, and then he pays for it. Or, he'll eat, different products and dairy and things, and he just, his stomach just explodes and, grumbles and stuff. So when he wants to have something like that, he started taking 2 or 3 Terrazyme capsules before the meal. And then if he forgets, he definitely takes it after. And it has completely gotten rid of the effects that his body was going through when he would have like a big bowl of ice cream. The other thing I love Terrazyme for is, everybody here knows that there's times when you'll go out to eat, or maybe there's a holiday that you're celebrating where you just have all the things. Like, it's like, okay, yes, it's so good, I can't stop eating, right? And you have that just, I feel so full. And so by taking Terrazyme, and I love taking Terrazyme on an empty stomach, but I'll also use it on a full stomach when my body feels like, gosh, I've had too much. And it really does help to alleviate that feeling very quickly. Those are just like 3 products, you guys, that I use every single day. My family uses them every day, and the results have just been incredible. So is there anybody else who has anything that they would like to share with us about these products, or any products, or any questions? And Diane, I think you were trying to unmute, but, oh, there you go.
I was thinking, I'm not technically doing Silver Club, so we would pass it on to Sarah, because she's doing the deed. But I was just jump in here. So I am 66 years old and I've been taking Lifelong Vitality probably for the past 6 years. And I remember for about the first year that I was doing doTERRA, everyone would say Lifelong Vitality. And I was like, "Ah," and I'm like, oh, I have my supplements. I feel good, and it was like, okay, wait a minute. Money back guarantee. And I've listened to, I've gone to convention, I've listened to the scientists. I'm gonna give this a go. So fast forward, some things that were going on in my body, like chronic pain and inflammation in my back, because I've had some accidents. Some of them self-inflicted, but that's another story for another time. And my knees used to creak going up and down stairs. Like Julie, I used to get chronic, not, I didn't get chronic, but once in a while I would get cold sores and they were just really, really horrendous. Another thing, and you reminded me of it, my eye used to twitch. Like it would like spasm. And so anyway, and then also I had arthritis that was developing in my joints, in my hands. And if you know me, I do things with my hands. I'm an artist. I create. And so that was not a good thing, especially in the winter, because that's when it seems to hurt the most in the winter. And so over time, every now and then I think, wow, my knees aren't creaking going up and down these stairs. Wow, the pain in my back is not chronic. All those things were gone. And it boils down to what I was doing at that foundational level, taking care of that inflammation and pain. And I just swear by Lifelong Vitality because I do like half a dose in the morning, and I'm a teacher. And so I do half a dose at lunch. And if I haven't taken my second half a dose, I am dragging by 3 o'clock. So I know that that's what everybody's bodies needs this. Everybody's body needs this. Spit that out 3 times fast. Anyway, yeah, good stuff. And I would not go a day without it. Would not. So just thought I'd throw my 2 cents in.
Isn't it fun when she's going, and also, and me, and I'm going, I could go on for a long time and talk about different products as Jules was teaching. It was like, okay, I've got a testimonial for that, and I've got a testimonial for that. And you guys, it's gotten to the point in my life where it's like, I can't imagine life without doTERRA or the products. That I'm so in love with them and my body is so happy when I use them. The other morning, my son, I take mine and my son's supplements and I put them out in this little cup every morning. And then we take our drink or whatever, we mix it up. And I took mine and then I saw his cup was empty and I thought, and I was busy, I was all over the place. And I came back and I thought, gosh, did I forget to get his out? So I put him in there again. And about 2 hours later, I looked at him and he was over there taking them and I go, did I give them to you already? He goes, I couldn't remember. So I went ahead and took them again. You guys, the best part about it is if he doubled up on them, there's no bad effect. And I said, well, you're going to get a lot of things done and have lots of energy. And just like Diane was saying, it's like halfway through the day, I'm going, okay, I'm a little bit. What I love about the products is it gives your body the fuel. And it's like Joel said, it's bioavailable. So your body's absorbing it and utilizing it to get the best benefit. Yeah, I love it so much. Okay, is there anybody else who has anything that they would like to add to tonight's class? Okay, I'm going to stop the recording, but I want you guys to stay on, okay?